Hello again. So today's video is a house tour. Matt and I have been living in the house for I think 2-3 months now, and we love it. I asked him to help narrate this video. Say hello, Matt.
Hello.
You'll be seeing a walkthrough of the house as we discuss a few things. So I guess first up, why we chose this house that you're seeing?
At least from my perspective, the hardwood floors, it was a nice space, in our budget, in the right location too.
That was a huge perk,
Yeah.
was that the house was in a really, not too far from where we had already been living.
Right.
So it made our daily life, like even with being home for a year, and it didn't really change.
Right.
One of the first changes we did was, of course, painting. Was something we wanted to do because of the green kitchen.
Yeah.
Which, how would you describe that color? Is it a lime?
It's not like a lime like in the like Sprite sense. It's a lime more in the key lime, really light, green, almost a little bit of yellow in it kind of thing. And of course the video will show that and stuff like that. And then we were just felt limited by the color. There was just a limit to what we could actually do with our decor with that green. So we picked some other colors.
And I mean, for those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I love the color green. But this color green on a wall, as you mentioned, limited us on decor. When we were house hunting, having the open kitchen concept, like where you're in the kitchen but you can see the living room, you can see the dining room space, was another huge selling point for this house.
Having continuity between those two rooms helps it feel like they're an extension of a single space rather than two distinct spaces.
Mm-hmm. When we were choosing paints, what was your thought process on the colors that I guess I was also suggesting?
I'm very much a cooler palette than you. Mm-hmm. So having the cool and like earthy tones fit for me. So it's just a matter of finding that middle ground between the colors that you wanted to pick and the ones that fit better with what I preferred.
And the colors that we ended up going with, I think the white was the white that you had picked out.
Mm-hmm. The snowbound, I think
and then the gray, I think, was that more my color?
I believe so, yeah. I think it was out of one of your palettes, yeah.
And then, of course, the pretty green that we ended up going with, gray green for the cabinets, was also my choice, too. Why did you go with my green versus the blue?
Because it was fine compared to the blue. It wasn't a big enough difference, and if it makes my Kimberly happy, then that's good enough for me.
Looking back on these clips, and seeing them again side by side, like in our swatches that we had on the cabinet, I'm glad that we went with the green, because I think the blue one ended up being, just looking on that picture, I don't know if you looked at it, it looked a little too dark for cabinets. And were you okay with me wanting to have the dual colors, white on top and a different color on the bottom?
Yeah, that was fine. I didn't have a real strong feeling one way or the other on that one.
I think it came out really, really cute.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I was very happy with that.
Yeah, I think that the thing I noticed most looking back through these videos is the living room looks bigger. And I don't know if that's just
like even with all of our stuff in it? Yeah,
I still think it looks bigger, and I don't know if that's because it still looks big with our furniture in there. So it gets the kind of, to me it looks bigger or more spacious just because there's things to kind of break it up and it feels like a full space rather than before it was just empty. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be easy to miss the size compared to what it looks like now.
Mm-hmm. What is something you want to change about the house right now?
I think the biggest thing to change right now is just like little like maintenance things, like get all the doors sealed properly. Maybe at some point replace the windows to get those better sealing, and then like the AC and stuff like that. I don't think cosmetically there's a lot that I feel like I need to change right now. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like we didn't mention this before, but the house is about 20 years old.
Yeah.
So those little age.
It's just age.
How happy the cats are in the new space.
Yeah.
We have 2 cats, Augie and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that they are pretty happy in this space.
Yeah. I think the one thing that they haven't quite gotten used to is the stairs are short distances for somebody to pop around the corner. So sometimes when they're on the stairs, it's suddenly like, oh, there's suddenly a human, and they get spooked. But otherwise, I think they've been a lot more happy because they just have more space, and I think it's just reduced the amount of conflict between the two because they have more room to retreat.
I mean, especially for Eve, who's pretty strictly a couch dwelling cat.
Yeah, for the most part.
And she's been more just kind of out in the open now that she has all this space.
Yep.
She's still timid, but I think it's allowed her to be a little bit more braver.
Yeah.
How are you liking your office?
I like it. I think the only thing is the closet. I need to like get a fan or something like that because it gets kind of stuffy in that little closet, and that's where I have my a lot of my hobby stuff set up so that it can be kind of like hidden away for the most part, and you can just close the door on it. But it does get stuffy in there. I don't know if it's just the insulation in the walls. It just doesn't lets in too much radiant heat from outside or something like that. But,
well, and then a closet also isn't meant to be spent much time in. But I mean, it's also it gets hot in this closet, but I don't really feel that way in our master closet.
No, the master closet seems to be
like is it ventilated or
it may be. I'd have to think about it.
Or maybe is it the fan that's in there? Is a ceiling fan in our bathroom, so does that maybe carry a good breeze over? Maybe
we don't have that door closed very often.
No,
closet
it's
door,
only
so that
sometimes.
may help with the ventilation too.
What is your favorite thing about the house?
The house in general, it feels nice.
So you feel like it's like, oh yeah, I'm comfortable. This is my house.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I don't know that there is necessarily a favorite part to it at the moment because it's not terribly different than the apartment in a lot of ways.
Really?
Most of the difference is just in the size and everything like that.
My favorite thing about the house, I mean, I love it as a whole. But I would definitely say that my office is my favorite thing right now about the house because I finally have a space, which, I mean, I'm very lucky because I have this whole room and you do have to share your office with like a couch for the guests. So I'm sorry.
That's not too bad on the long run.
Is there something you miss about the apartment?
I think the thing I miss the most about the apartment is having Whole Foods across the street.
Yeah, I mean, we're not far from it, but walking distance. Or at least a more comfortable walking distance. Because it's technically, I guess, still walking distance.
It'd be too hot to like do any groceries while walking.
But also just because it was our first home together. And we spent an entire year in that apartment. Just the two of us and the cats. Like, for an entire year. It was our quarantine home.
Yep.
It was a nice home, and but I'm happy that we have this house and
Me
that
too.
we have a new chapter in our lives. Well, thank you so much for recording this video with me.
Of course.
And narrating with me.
Of course.